Hello and welcome back to this week's episode of Industry Podcast, where I talk about nonsense in the comfort of my childhood bedroom. I have no clue what I'm talking about this week. Usually I'm pretty good about coming up with topics throughout the week to talk about, but this week it was a really dry week for me. I'm going to be really honest. This episode might be short. There is one thing that I need to address, but first of all, shout out to my grandma. It was her 85th birthday this past Sunday. We all went out to go and celebrate with her. So it was me, and then it was my sister, and then it was my grandma's kids, and then their kids, and then one of them has a kid of her own. So it was just really nice to all be together, but also because my grandma's twin passed away a couple of months ago, and it was her first birthday celebrating without her. And I thought, everybody just thought it would be nice, or my aunt thought it would be nice to go out. And so she invited, her siblings. And then, we all came, and it was really nice to be there with her that day. And I just remember it was crazy because the family, because after we went to Juicy Crab, for dinner, we ended up going back to her and my grandpa's house to have cake and ice cream. And so we did that, sang happy birthday and stuff. And we started having a conversation about something, and it was ended up being a political conversation. And, some arguments broke out a bit. It got a little nasty. It did. And I just remember I looked over at my grandma at the end of the table, and she was just sitting there smiling, just looking around the room, and she was just happy to be there. And honestly, I hope that I get to that point at some point. I hope that I make it to 85, first of all, but also I hope that at 85, I can be in a room surrounded by people who love me and care about me. And, it was just really nice. Even though, it was getting, a little nasty in the conversation, she was just really happy to be there. And I was like, wow, I ended up calling her a couple days before then. And I was like, oh, hey, grandma. And I don't really call my grandmas, which I need to do better. But I called her and I was like, hey, what's up? Just want to know what you were doing today. Check on you, say hey. And, she was just excited to get a call from me. And she was like, oh, I feel so loved today. She had a nephew or something call her earlier that day. And then I called her and she was like, wow, this is so great. It's hearing from, everybody and stuff, and, just feeling really loved. And I'm just happy to have made it to 85. And she was excited to go to church and then excited to go to dinner after. And yeah, and it was really nice. And honestly, I just try my best to really I didn't mean for this to get all sappy at the beginning, but I really just try my best to at least my hope is that I live life to the point of every day I can be happy for where I'm at and not comparing myself or my life to others, because I've been doing a lot better about not doing that. But yeah, I just really hope that at some point I can just mellow out a little bit and stop worrying so much about everything and just be happy to be here. My grandma, I was like, wow, old girl's really just happy to be here. That's crazy. She's happy to be in this room with her family right now. And I hope I can make it to that point, just being happy to be here most days. Life do be hard. Also, I wanted to address something. I have been clickbaiting these episodes, and last week was really a learning moment for me. I think a lot of people clickbait, obviously. And I've had conversations with my friends about it before, about how clickbaiting is kind of anti. But at the same time, sometimes getting people to watch your content is really hard. Really, really hard, especially on YouTube, where there's a video for literally any and everything. So last week I ended up titling my episode A Family of Addicts. I ended up explaining why I titled it that in the episode, at the end and also at the beginning. And while it wasn't my intention to mislead anybody who has gone through addiction, one thing I don't do, and this is the thing, is that I try my best to be a fairly ethical person. Yeah. And while it wasn't my intention to poke fun at or anything like that towards addiction, because I've discussed that before in the past, and I was a big fan of a celebrity who is very open about their addiction or their struggles with addiction. And I think it's a very important topic. I've discussed it in my philosophy class and stuff like that, and different philosophers' theories on that and everything, but it's never my intention to poke fun at people. My intention is like, I'm literally just like, I know that it takes clickbait to get people to watch stuff, unfortunately. And in order to get people to tap in and watch it, you kind of have to have something a little bit out of the box as the title. And when I chose that one, I ended up getting a comment about somebody who has gone through and struggled with addiction. And they commented on there and they were like, yeah, I just subscribed. And I just felt like obviously really bad because my intention wasn't for that to like mislead anybody. It was, well, actually, now that I'm saying that, it kind of, wow. See, this is the learning part. This is the learning part where we try our best to do better next time. Because while I'm saying it wasn't my intention, I wasn't thinking that. I was just thinking, oh, like this will get people to click on it because like that's like an out of the box title. It's not my intention to make fun of or to poke fun at addiction. I think it's a very serious topic and something that I take very seriously. And I know that people who struggle with addiction, like that's something that they have to work on and battle with for their entire life. But at the same time that it wasn't my intention, I still did it. And that was still like a consequence of my action. Like my friends definitely held me accountable for that. And then I also held myself accountable. But also at the same time that I'll hold myself accountable, it's also like I beat myself up really bad about it because it was something that I wasn't intending for somebody who struggled with addiction to click on that. But obviously, if somebody who has struggled with that clicks on this, why would they not, like, why would they think that that wasn't going to be mentioned at all in the video or something like that? And I did want to address that because that is a mistake that I made and I'm taking accountability for it and I'm taking responsibility for that. And I can clickbait without like doing that. And I'm going to do better, but I wanted to call myself in here. I did. I wanted to call myself in and take that seriously because while I was using it colloquially, that is obviously nobody would have known that but me. So I do apologize deeply for that. If the person listening to this who left that comment, I'm so sorry for misleading you. If you're still here and you're watching this, I'm so sorry. It wasn't my intention. And really wanted to say that. And like I said before, like this is a podcast where I'm hoping that like we can learn from each other and learn how to be better and do better and stuff like that. So definitely this is like I am very open with like sharing my mistakes and what I did wrong, taking responsibility for them, holding myself accountable, and then trying my best to do better and move forward. So yeah, won't be doing that one again. I'm still going to be clickbaiting this episode. Actually, I'm clickbaiting this episode right now. And actually, I'm clickbaiting it, but it's technically not clickbait because I'm going to tell you I'm going to tell you why it's not clickbait. I like through the past few weeks and really low key before it started getting cold outside, I kept experiencing these sharp pains in my chest. And I was like, oh wow, like they hurt like really bad. And I was like, well, I don't even know if it's really my chest or if it's my lungs. I don't really know. And I'm not going to the doctor for that because I don't have money for a copay, which is why y'all need to go ahead and like and subscribe this episode. Like and subscribe, leave a comment. Y'all have got to engage. Pretend to share the link. You know what I'm saying? Send the link to yourself. Send the link to your mama, your daddy, your sister, your brother, your cousin, your stepdaddy, your grandma. Just send the link, okay? Engage with it, okay? Anywho, so that I can go to the doctor and when I have problems, I can just go and not worry about my finances, people. We need to stay focused on the target. Anyways, but I have these like chest pains sometimes. I don't know why, but the first time I started having them, I was like, oh my gosh, like what is this? Because obviously like the first thing I'm thinking about is like literally the worst thing. I'm like, oh, a heart attack. I'm having one. Like, oh wow. But then after taking some deep breaths, it doesn't go away, okay? Sometimes it'll be like a lingering pain or it'll be like I get another one. And then once that one calms down, I try to take deep breaths, still hurts. And then I get another one. And I'm like, is this long COVID? Is it long COVID? Is a heart attack? Anyways, but I literally forgot that those were happening to me because they hadn't happened in months. So then a couple days ago, the weather started changing and my sister actually had to get steroids for her allergies. Apparently she has those. And I was like, started experiencing these chest pains. And I was like, girl, am I about to die? Like, I was like, and like these were hurting a little bit more than the last ones. I was like, girl, if this is how I'm going out, I just hope it's not in that damn car, because we all know I don't want to die in transportation. That's actually my biggest fear. If I ever died going somewhere, girl, I don't know what I'd do. I would actually have to revive myself, make it there, and then die or something. I don't know, girl. Anyways, that's all I wanted to say there. But I will be clickbaiting this episode. I don't really know what the title is yet. It's a working theory. But it's giving something about a heart attack. But technically, I can go and relate that back to Demi Lovato, because she did actually sing at a like heart thing. What was it? It was like something, I can't really remember. It was like some type of heart benefit, and then she sang heart attack, and people were like giggling on the internet because they were like, girl, why are you doing this? Like, why would you perform that song at like a heart event? And I don't know, that really made me giggle. Anywho, enough about that, because I've actually been super boring this episode. This episode might be boring, guys. I'm going to be honest with you. It might be boring, okay? Anywho, the stuff that we have on the docket, we only have 2 things on the docket, and then we have like 3 things that I wrote down. First of all, I legitimately started watching this show on Paramount Plus. One day I was so desperate. I take baths. I'm a bath girl. So I settled down to take a bath one day, and I was like, bro, what am I going to watch? And I actually like watched this basketball podcast, Gilbert Arenas, but sometimes I don't really feel like hearing like straight men talk, but also sometimes I don't really feel like hearing straight men talk about like anything. And then somehow they always manage to like talk about women, and then they refer to them as the work. And I'm just like, you're literally 40 years old. Like, never mind, girl. Never mind. We're not going to get into that. Anyways, I was like, what am I going to watch? Because people aren't really talking about like new shows. Obviously the writer's strike happened, and there's not really too much out for real. Or like the stuff that is out, I'm just not like locked in on, and I haven't really heard about it enough for me to go and want to click on it. So I was like, dang girl, what am I going to watch? So I ended up going and I ended up going on Paramount Plus, and I was like, girl, what am I going to watch? So I start scrolling through, and I see Zoe Saldana on this like the little cover, and Nicole Kidman. And I love Nicole Kidman and Zoe Saldana. So I was like, you know what? And Morgan Freeman. And I was like, girl, I might have to tap in on this. Let's just see what they're talking about. Special ops. Like I'm very much anti-USA. However, I hate to say it, I love a good like war movie. You know what I'm saying? I love a good like, it's definitely propaganda. First of all, it's definitely propaganda. It is. I never fall for the okie doke, but that's just me. You know, there are other people out there who will get hoodwinked very easily, very quickly, and fall for the okie doke, but it's never going to be me. But I don't mind seeing a quick picture. However, it does really make me think about whenever I watch like military movies, it really makes me think about, and the thing is that they're always about the Middle East, which makes sense because that's literally the only place the military goes, it seems. But, you know, it really just makes you think, why does America, like, I understand why America does the whole propaganda in the Middle East is bad. Like, I understand they're trying to make us view them as the enemy. I understand the concept of propaganda. I do. It's just really stupid to me. Like, the same way that racism is stupid to me, the same way that homophobia is stupid to me, the same way that transphobia is stupid to me, the same way that literally any of those things are stupid to me. I just don't understand. But Once you actually start thinking about stuff and like the stuff that America does, it really just makes you like, girl, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing for real? Anyways, so I watch the movies and I'm always like, the way that these people who make these movies try to vilify. That's the word. Try to vilify anyone from the Middle East, anyone who's from Africa, anyone who's from Asia at times. I wonder, like, it's not like I wonder why. I'm just like, I just don't understand what the end goal is. I know the end goal is to keep people thinking that we are so powerful and XYZ, but it's really hard to keep up that idea that America is this big, powerful place when we see that it's not. Like, we're actively seeing that almost every single day. We see, countries in certain countries in Europe, even Canada, different places in the world that, offer their citizens healthcare and take care of them, or offer their citizens, like livable wage and things like that. And it's kind of like America keeps trying to tell us that we're at the top and that we're so great and so powerful. And it's like, girl, well, how great and powerful can we be if we have people like Donald Trump able to still run in office? We have people who literally have crimes against them and they can run for office. Yeah. It's like, how great are we really if we can't even offer everyone in America a livable wage? How great are we if we can't even make sure that homeless people have houses to live in? How great are we? Really? How great can we really be if we can't even offer people health care? If we can't offer people Social Security when they retire? How great can we be if we have to raise the retirement age? If that's something that we're spitballing? How great can we really be if we're still so reliant on fossil fuels? How great can we really be sending the military to the Middle East and to Africa, pillaging for resources and colonizing? How great can we really be? That'll really make you think. How great can America really be? And I think that they think we're stupid or something, because there are a couple. There's a couple. Okay, you know what I'm saying? There's a couple. However, there are a lot more of us who obviously are picking up the books, and we have access to the internet, so we're not stupid. Like, we realize that we deserve better, we deserve more, and we're not getting that thing. We're not getting that stuff that we deserve better for. We're not getting that stuff that we deserve more from. We're not getting anything from our government, really. All we're getting is lies, and that's really it. That's really what we get from the government, is lies and ideas that are just pushed onto us, which actually brings me to my next topic. I really think if you care at all, if you're a woman, really, let's just get down to the nitty gritty. If you're a woman and you think you don't care about what's happening with Roe v. Wade, or what happened with Roe v. Wade, and what's going on with women's autonomy to their body in America, you may not want to, because maybe that's not something that you're experiencing right now. Okay, that's not something that you're going through right now. I need you to lock in. If you're a woman with a uterus, or if you've ever had one in the past, I need you to lock in and really start doing your research on what's going on in America. I think, and here's the thing, I was having this conversation with somebody from my family, or some people from my family, earlier this week at said dinner. And we ended up talking about the election that's coming up. And a big thing that my aunt was talking about that needs to be on the ticket, that people need to get out and voting for, that needs to be the center of attention this election, is women's rights and like to their body, like to their autonomy to decide what they do with their body. And that makes a lot of sense to me, obviously. But there's something that I haven't really quite been able to wrap my head around. I don't understand why so many women will stand behind politicians who aren't doing things for them. So in that regard, so Roe v. Wade, that was something that, like, obviously Supreme Court, and then, you know, we got out there and we voted and stuff. But something that I'm not understanding is like why we keep letting certain lawmakers in who only care about policing women's bodies. I'm not understanding that. And then I try to like think about it. And I'm like, okay, well, you know, some women just don't think that that's important because it doesn't apply to them. It's not something that they go through. A lot of people think that women use abortions as birth control. And while some people may do that, that's not what the majority of people are doing. And I think like so many people get so much misinformation about why women get abortions. And they're not thinking about like who's getting something taken away from them because they've gotten that misinformation. Case in point, yes, maybe a woman wants to get an abortion because she had unprotected sex and isn't ready to have a kid. Why does she not get that right to decide whether or not that baby's born? If she knows that, oh, she's barely making ends meet right now, or maybe she did have protected sex and the condom broke or the birth control just didn't work. I don't know, girl. I don't know. Maybe that happened. Why doesn't that woman get to decide what happens with her body? And why do we think it's okay to decide that for them? Moreover, not only that, but why do men get to decide what women are doing with their bodies? And I think the real problem here is that outside of women who just don't really care about allowing women to do whatever they want with their bodies, it's like, why are you so okay with allowing a man to decide what you do with it? Like right now, this is about abortion. But when you think about this topic, a lot of lawmakers and men and white men especially view women as just really incubators. Like if we're really going to sit here and take a step back, a lot of lawmakers just view women as baby makers. And once you do that and use up your body and stuff, and you're not making babies anymore, they're pushing that, oh, like, yeah, you don't matter anymore. I don't care about you. And really they're saying they don't care about you now because they're making these laws that like don't let you decide what you're doing with your body. So already them saying that you're not allowed to make decisions about what you do with your body is already them showing that they don't care about you. And I'm not understanding how some women are so okay with that, but also I'm not understanding why so many women like aren't fighting back on that. Like I'm not understanding in what world you're like, oh yeah, women shouldn't be able to decide what they do with their body. Like, yeah, you may be pro-life. Okay, that's fine. I'm not going to sit here and be like, pro-choice is better than pro-life, whatever. But at the same time, why do you think it's okay to police a woman on what she does with her body? Like if you're personally pro-life, why do you get to decide what somebody else is? That's what's not making sense to me. And I understand, like, I've had this debate in class, like in school, whatever, like in real life, like, girl, well, really, it's not even a debate. Women should just be able to do what they want with their body. Like, there's nothing to debate on there. Like, If I want to go and smoke a cigarette, I should be able to go and smoke a cigarette. I'm not going to smoke a cigarette because I don't do nicotine. But if I wanted to go and smoke a cigarette, why couldn't I do that? And the problem is that like people don't see that like them infringing upon women's ability to do what they want with their body. It starts right now with abortion, but it might go on to something else, them policing some other area of your life. And I just really don't like that there are so many women in this country who have like one-track minds in like them only thinking, well, I'm pro-life, so I agree with this legislation. Yeah, that's just very one track. Like, you're not thinking about the implications of the future. If they say women can't do what they want with their bodies, okay, well, then what are they going to take away from women next? And the people's inability, or women's inability, some of them inability to not see that this is so much bigger than just being pro-life or pro-choice. It's so much greater than that. Of like, if they can go and overturn this, who knows what else they can do? Or who knows what else they will do? And people aren't seeing that. And I'm not really understanding that one. I'm not really understanding that. Because, like, I get it. Like, if that's not something that you've gone through, like... And my other thing is that, like, I don't know if you guys have seen, like, those movies or TV shows, but that one show, Little Fires Everywhere, if you haven't seen it by now, girl, that's your fault, but spoiler. That girl went and she got pregnant, okay, right? And then she went and she was like, I need to have an abortion. Well, she told her mama. And she was like, yeah, girl, yeah, she did have an abortion. She did. And I'm just like, I'm sure there are a lot of women out there whose maybe daughters have gone through that. Like, they had sex and now they're pregnant, and it's like, ooh, girl, you gotta get, or like the girl's like, I can't have a kid right now. I can't do this. Or maybe, yeah, like that's just an option. Like, yeah, maybe that happened. And then it's like, oh, women shouldn't be allowed to have abortions. But like, if my kid needs one, because I don't want to tarnish the family's name, she's going to get one. How does that work? How does that work that nobody's allowed to do what they want with their body but your kid? I'm trying to figure out how that happens, how that works. And really, whatever's going on in Texas right now with these abortions, y'all need to get on that 2020 special. Yeah, y'all need to get, or was it Nightline? I don't know which one it was, but y'all need to get on that. Y'all need to go and look and see what's going on, because women are going into sepsis before having a baby, and maybe they have like an ectopic pregnancy, and they have to like have an abortion because like they're going to die because they're going to die. Like, yeah, just that. And they're not allowed to have them, or they have to go through special courts to get permission to do that and to save their life or whatever. And what people really, really don't talk about enough is that a lot of people who are getting abortions, a lot of people aren't getting abortion just because they had unprotected sex, or just because a lot of people aren't getting abortion just because that's their form of birth control. Like, there's a lot more going on here. There's a lot more at play here than people are willing to sit back and like research on. There are a lot more women who need abortions for like health reasons, okay? And again, why does a man get to tell me what I'm doing with my body? Why does the law get to tell me what I'm doing with my body? Like, girl. And that's the other thing, is that even outside of this, we have other things to be focused on besides that. Like, they want to police women's bodies so bad, but girl, we have other things to worry about, girl. How about the fact that with this climate change is getting real serious? This reliance on fossil fuels is very serious. I'm trying to figure out why we're not running to go get these other laws passed, and we're only focusing on the ones that hinder women's autonomy. I would really like to know that. And really, I want to know why we haven't worked on, I don't know, getting people in Congress and the Senate, whatever, getting term limits for them. Yeah, because there's no reason that somebody should be sitting up in a seat for 50 years. Okay, 50 was a lot. Maybe 20, 30 years, girl. Because you're out of touch at that point. I really think I give 2 terms. It needs to be 2 terms for every position in the government. I'm sorry. And Supreme Court appointments, I hate to say it, don't need to be lifetime appointments. I actually didn't hate to say that. That was my truth. I think a lot of these people, once they've been in like the legislative branch for, like I said, like maybe like 2 terms, babes, it's time for you to roll up out of there. It's time for you to roll up out of there, especially if you ain't done nothing the constituents told you. And really what's crazy is people don't even be wanting to run against the incumbent. Some of y'all, we've got to rally ourselves. Some of y'all are going to have to start running for office, okay? I don't care if you don't want to do it, girl. This is a matter of life or death. Some of y'all are going to have to get out here and hit these pavements. All I know. Some of y'all are going to have to get out there and hit these pavements. I don't really know. I don't really know how you get into politics. Somebody Google it. Girl, I'm always getting a text. Oof, girl. The door is unlocked, so don't... Oh, sorry. That was a wrong message. Anywho, next topic. Fifth Harmony Resurgence. Oh, y'all know what? I was supposed to be talking about special ops. Back to what I was saying. I started watching this show on Paramount Plus. It was called Special Ops Lioness. And the guy who wrote... one of the guys who writes Yellowstone, created the show or something. I don't know. I started watching the show. And, I'm watching it. I'm in there. I'm like Zoe Saldana eating. As always, I'm trying to get a feel for the show. Nicole Kidman's in there. And, I'm just like, yeah, this show's pretty darn good. And then I started getting a little shiver down my back, I was like, oh. I was like, one of these characters is seeming a little... It's like one of these characters is seeming a little... fruity. Oh, wow. I was like, oh, wow. I was like, I'm starting to feel something. And then, why 2 of the characters kissed? I was like, I knew it. See, there's like something in me that just knows when there's about to be something a little fruity on the screen. And so then I ended up watching the rest of that show. I binge watched that show in a day, okay? I started that show at like maybe 7, 8 o'clock. And then I finished the show at like 4 or 5 a.m. And I was just in there having a ball. And I'm going to be honest, I needed closure because the queer representation in media is always something that's like traumatic. I want to know why the queer couples in TV shows can never have a happy ending. Like, we see straight people on TV have happy endings all the time. I'm not saying it's all the time, but it's a lot more. It's very regular. And then when it comes to like the gay stuff, it's traumatic. You lose, gunshots, bullets, car crash, died on a plane. Why can't we get something regular? Why can't we get something normal? Okay. Now that show was propaganda. That show was propaganda. But I thought at the end of it, it was really eye-opening because, like the main character or one of the main characters was like talking about how like what happened or yeah, how like people will go branch of the military will like put a hit on somebody and then they'll get somebody to go in and like, they have a mark and then they have to go and get close with somebody so that they can, assassinate somebody else. And then it ended up being a whole thing. But one of the main characters ended up saying like, now what do we have? Like, now we've like created the next generation of terrorists. And I was like, well, yes, like that's basically, like I said, like we go and villainize people from the Middle East. And then when we go and like ruin their homes and take their resources, like, yeah, we're inflicting all of that violence on people that just want to be left alone. Like, they literally didn't do anything. Like, girl, like, literally just leave them alone. They didn't do anything but exist on land near resources that you want. That's literally all they did. And then because they get villainized or vilified, now it's all their fault. And, oh, they're evil and they should be ashamed of themselves. And they're actually not evil. We're actually the evil ones. And the fact that we thought we could just go, and not we, but like America, like the fact that America thought they could just go and take whatever they wanted just because they're white and had guns and could. Like, I'm really confused as to what's not clicking there. Like, yeah, American military, like, definitely just create more terrorism. Like, yes, if somebody killed my parents off something that had nothing to do with them, yeah, I'm getting my revenge, ho. Like, I don't understand that. And like I said before, people from the Middle East, they didn't do anything. Like, all they did was literally be born, and then there was oil where they lived, and Americans were like, oh, well, I want it. I would like a hand in that. Where did you come from? Like, literally, if you would stay focused on literally anything else, we could be okay, we could be fine. But again, we're supposed to be America. We're so great. How great are we, really? How great are we? Anywho, but the show was really good. If you need something to binge watch, that's the show to lock in on. There's something for the straights. There's something for the gays. And that's really all you need. Oh, won't he do it? Anyways, I grew up a big Fifth Harmony fan, and this episode's going to be short. Okay? Sorry. I have a sinus thing going on. Anyways, I grew up a big fan of Fifth Harmony, and if you're on Twitter, if you're on TikTok, you know that Fifth Harmony has had a resurgence over the past week, and it has just been so great to see because I just really forgot how messy the fans were, and I've missed them, and it's been so nice to kind of reminisce and relive that time of my life because I was so young. And I'm gonna be honest, Fifth Harmony, they got me through a lot. They did. My middle school and like early high school years, I was a very awkward girl. I was, believe it or not, and I know that you can believe it. I was a very awkward girl, and that group, they were there for me, you know, from like 2013, I want to say, from like 2013 to 2018, those girls had me locked in. They really did. And it's just been so nice to see the messy tweets, to see the messy fans come back, to have those arguments. It's always going to be OT5 till the day I die. I'll say that first, get that off my chest. And it's just really great. Moreover, this leads me to my final topic. Everybody is dropping music this year. And honestly, God bless. Because, girl, I'm so tired of my music, girl. I need something new to sink my teeth into. And what's crazy is I keep seeing tweets of people being like, why is everybody dropping music this year? Like, we're not going to have anything to listen to next year. Girl, shut up. Oh, my God. Like, girl, I'm not going to lie. For the most part, I've been waiting for a good album to be released outside of the SZA album and outside of Victoria Monet since like 2022. I've been waiting. Really 2021, because outside of like Ariana and then like the people I listed, girl, didn't nobody drop no good album for real like that. Like Chris Brown dropped an album, but I'm not really supposed to mention that. Like, honestly, the people who are talking about y'all don't need to, why is everybody dropping this year? It's just gonna be too much. It's gonna be too much music. Y'all need to shut the hell up. Sit back and be grateful. All I know. Cause why are you being ungrateful? Like, girl, we got the Normani album coming. We've been waiting since, girl, damn near 2018. damn near, really 2019, because she did give us notifications. We've been waiting since damn near 2020 for that album. We've been waiting 4 or 5 years, girl. Then we got Ariana's coming back. I hope it's good. We have, what else do we have? Dua Lipa. I think Billie Eilish is coming out with some music. Beyonce's coming out with music, obviously. I think they said Lady Gaga's coming out with music. SZA's coming out with the deluxe. Tinashe, I don't know how she slipped my mind, okay. And some other people are coming out with music. And that Taylor Swift girl, oh my God. But, like, I don't know why you wouldn't sit here and be grateful, girl. Hopefully Rihanna makes it out. Hopefully Rihanna makes it out this year. Honestly, girl, whoever wants to release music, they need to do that. All I know is that y'all need to get back on it. Y'all need to get back on here and start stepping on people's necks, because people have gotten far too comfortable. The pop girlies have not been out for real. It's time for them to put their leg out of that dress with the little slit down the side. It's time for them to put that leg out and start stepping on necks, because we have really not been being served by the pop girls lately. Like, some of y'all have been slacking a bit. Honestly, if I'm going to sit here and be honest, some of y'all have really been slacking. We have been sitting here and we have been hungry. We have been thirsty for food, and it's about time y'all fed us, honestly. And it better have been all at once, because there was a time when the pop girls couldn't get off of our necks. We couldn't breathe, okay? There was a time like that. And it's time that we run that back, okay? We haven't had a good year in music in a minute. So it's time for y'all to get in that booth, in that studio, and it's really time for y'all to start dropping the albums. Y'all need to drop them albums. Y'all need to start the rollout by April. I better see a new album by April. Also, Camila Cabello is coming out with an album. I love that girl. I love that girl down. I better see a new album by somebody come April. Come April 15th, I better see one new album. And they better just keep coming out every month, a big album every month. Because I'm not playing with y'all no more. I'm not playing with y'all. And nobody's playing with y'all no more, because y'all have gotten real lazy over the years, okay? And it's time for y'all to come in here and be iconic. Take the #1 spots back from these rappers, okay? All y'all have to do is get in the stew. Anyways, girl, that's it for this week's episode. I told y'all I ain't have nothing to say. Anywho, we made it at 14. Oh my God. We made it to 42 minutes. And I'm very grateful. And please make sure that you come back next week. If you want to. I know this episode's kind of boring. I'll be stronger next week. Actually, let me not sit here and make promises. Just come back and listen to the episode. It'll be fun. Maybe there'll be jokes. I don't know. Anywho, I'm gonna go, guys. This was really nice. Make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment. Do what you do. Okay. I'm gonna see you guys next week. Bye. Oh, girl. I be struggling to hit the pause button.